Hello, and welcome to the Stingray Podcast. My name is Buddy, and these are my friends.
Hello, my name is Ash, but I also go by Zero Lashy, but just call me Ash. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rory, but I go by Crazy8 on the internet because I don't want people to stalk me.
Hello, I'm Miranda, but most know me as Nagiri. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Welcome.
No, friends.
So what are we going
again
to talk
was-
about today?
Yes, what was the subject again?
Stingray's background. Buddy, would you like to explain that?
We're just jumping right into it. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
let's dive right into it!
like back in like a year ago, like March or April last in 2018, maybe it was later than that. I don't know. I was going through YouTube, and actually I think it was June, or July. When did the Octo expansion come out? Was it June or July?
I think it was June, if I remember right.
It was probably June then, because
I think it was June.
I hadn't played Splatoon since December of 2017, and so I hadn't played it for a while. But then that came out, and I got it, and I was like, okay, I like this game again. And then, so I was just going through YouTube because I hadn't really watched any Splatoon YouTube videos before that because I never really was into it. But I was going through YouTube, and I started watching like the Nintendo like streams of the competitions and stuff, and I was like, man, I want to be like them.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
So then I was looking into it online, and I figured out how to like apply for teams and stuff, and so I went onto Squid Boards, and there was a whole bunch, but there was one that it was called Incantation, and I was like, I'm gonna join that team because they have the lowest requirements, even though they weren't that low.
If we go back, the requirements were all S+5, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I was nowhere near those requirements.
Good job, buddy.
But so I wanted to apply anyways because I didn't know how it worked, and so then I messaged Miranda, who was the leader or co-leader or whatever of the team. Co-leader of
Yes.
Incantation, and then that never happened. But we talked for a bit, and then I was like, well, if I can't make it into this team, then I will just make my own, even though I didn't know what I was doing. And so I did, and then I made the server, and I posted it on like a smaller subreddit, and yeah, then people started to join. That's my story.
That's a cool story, buddy.
Alright, Ash,
So-
why don't you go next?
How'd y'all find it?
So, okay, so I'm gonna go back in June. Back when I was taking my vacation over to someplace, which I will not specify. But anyways, I met some friends there, and they were like, they invited me to these servers, and one specific called that's how they're having the Splatoon tournament. Well, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna need to go find a team. So, being lazy, I'm like, no, I can't find a team. And then, I guess one of the people who were also in was like, hey, I see you don't have a team. Would you like to join this team called Stingray? And I'm like, sure, why the heck not? And so I joined.
So
Yeah.
one day I thought, I'm going to go browse some smaller subreddits about Splatoon because the big one is pretty cool, but I had seen all the posts there and I was bored and I didn't know what else to do. So I went to, I think it was like Splatoon, r/Splatoon teams or something, and I saw this one that said, join my team by user u/BaconHatBuddy, and I'm like, whoa, that's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, I should join this guy's team. He looks
You
pretty
joined
cool.
because of my
And
name. That's good.
Wow.
I'm like something like, oh, I saw the post and I was like, the requirements were C minus, and I thought, I don't think I'm gonna make
Wait,
that.
seriously?
Were they C minus or B minus? They were low. They were low requirements.
I thought
I'm
they
pretty
were
sure.
B minus.
But they
C
were
minus,
like.
C minus is the lowest rank.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
they were like
joined,
they were like A
and
minus or something.
I'm like,
Anyways, okay.
right, that's the end of my story.
That's a pretty cool
You're right.
story.
Tell your story, Miranda.
No, okay, I'm gonna have to put my controller down
This
because
is gonna be
this
a
one's
long
a
one
doozy.
because you have a lot of history.
I do have a lot of history. Now, whether or not this has to do with Stingray, I don't know necessarily. I haven't really thought about it. But we're going to go a little further back than Stingray. So this is back in about 2016, 2015. I started
Whoa.
playing Splatoon. Yeah. And then, because that's
Wait, but okay, never mind.
Oh, are we supposed to go that back?
Well,
Wait,
no.
were you talking about the
No.
original Splatoon?
yes,
right?
the original Splatoon.
Okay. I was about to say Splatoon 2 came out in 2017. Anyways, continue.
And Miranda's a time traveler. You guys didn't know that?
Whoa, guys.
This game, I've been playing games for a while, and I was a gamer, We owned like a ton of consoles, so there's pretty much no way I couldn't be. There was nothing else to do. But when I saw that game, I had a feeling I had never had for a game before. And this was back when it was like first revealed. So of course I begged and begged my parents for a Wii U. And that when they did get me the Wii U and Splatoon, oh man, I played that game almost every day.
How many
I
hours
was
did you
dedicated.
put into it?
Either 1,000
She has
plus
like
or
200,
2,000.
200, 2,000.
Jeez.
Yes. And so like let's fast forward a bit. And I'm 12 now. So I'm 12 and I'm playing this game like I want to get more serious about this. I love this game to death and I want to play it competitively. So, since the only media I had at the time was Meteor, I looked for teams on there, which was not effective at all, let me tell you. I ended up joining a team called Squid Blast, which they did nothing with me.
Oof.
They didn't even ask
Aw.
who I was. They were just like,
Aw.
"Do you want to be in Squid Blast?" I'm like, "Sure," and then nothing happened, and then they disbanded.
Dang.
So I'm like,
Of course.
"Damn, dude, okay." And then I'm like just sad because like I have nowhere to go, because that was like one of the only teams I
You
saw,
were
like,
a
advertised.
homeless agent.
Yeah. So I spent my days trying to find people who would accept a 12-year-old, because like no one wants a 12-year-old on their team.
Were you a pretty mature 12-year-old though?
Yeah, I was. I was basically the same as I was now.
But people
Oh,
don't
like-
know that.
Yeah.
You should have told them you were like 15. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hey
I
guys,
wish I did.
Hey guys, I'm 18 years old. I would like to join your Splatoon team.
So
Hey
then
guys.
a bit.
Two.
Let's fast forward again a bit, and this is when the first Inkling Open happened, right?
Uh-huh.
So this guy hits me up, and his name's like Game Over, and he's like, "Hey, I want to play in the Invitational," and I'm like, "Yo, me too," and then he's like, "We should make a team," and so he doesn't care that I'm 12. It was great. So like we made this team together, Inkronizer, and we lost because
Well-
no one practiced. And then I made my own team and tried to get enough people before the Rainmaker like section of the Invitational, and no one made it to my practices ever. I had like four practices and only one person ever showed up.
Dang.
That's sad.
And then when it came around and we lost on the first round again, everyone was mad at me, even though they never came.
This team.
That's really
These people
dumb.
sound awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we fast forward again. I give up on finding a team, and I just play the game trying to get to S+, which never happened, actually.
Aw.
And then Splatoon 2 is announced. A little after the game comes out, and like I got it in December, I think. And so, after a while, I started looking for teams again, and I couldn't really find any because they all required voice chat, and my mom wouldn't let me do that at the time. But then when I was like turning 14, I think, 14, 15, I think it was when 15. She let me get a headset. And that is when I joined Incantation. I was the second member to join, other than the leader.
Oh, jeez.
And this is the
Wow.
beginning of Incantation. One
Who
of the
was the
most.
leader?
It was
Yeah.
Regime.
Oh,
Who?
yeah.
Someone
Regime.
else. Not
Yeah.
you.
He made me co-leader. And then the third person to join was. Now, I'll get into later. And so, this was the beginning of probably the team that was most successful for me. And still proves to be. And so, we made the team. I came up with the name, Incantation.
That's your nice name.
Better than
Yeah.
Stingray.
Wow.
And I also made the art. And then, so we start practicing. And I'm like surprised at how much we practice. Not like a bad surprise, but like when
'Cause
we practice, people actually.
practice.
Yeah. I was afraid for a little bit, but I got to know them better and I grew close to them. And so we made the team in the hopes of like playing in the new Splatoon 2 Championship Invitational. And we practice a lot before the time comes. And when we finally start playing, we don't lose the first round. In fact, we got about 5 rounds in.
Dang.
We were
Good
74th
job.
best.
Okay.
We were 74th best out of 990 registered teams.
Dang.
And we were one of the like we were in like the top 20, I think, not top 20, maybe top 50 or something of like the best current teams. Maybe the top 100, I don't know.
Still good no
I
matter
can't remember.
what.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
And then so we continued playing. And I remember this was when was on the team. And then after a while, I had told me about this other tournament that was going on. It was server.
Hey.
And he's like, "Do you want to play with this with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so team like the mini team Incendiary was formed, and we won. That was when I had my second encounter with Stingray. Beforehand, Buddy did try to apply for Incantation. Unfortunately, we had to close up, tryouts because we had too many pending people. This is when it starts to go downhill. Regime leaves to take a break, and he leaves me, the co-captain 1, and co-captain 2 to take care of the team while he's away.
Uh-oh.
And he does do some stuff, but he does it without telling me. And so he randomly decided to make a B team without telling me.
Oof.
So,
Wow, copying Stingray, I see. No, I'm kidding.
And
Actually,
then-
we copied them. But go on.
Oh, okay.
and then after he did that without telling me, he kind of just also went on vacation, even though he told me that he would be the captain of B team and I would be in charge of A team. So now I had to take care of both of these teams, find them scrims, practice, train them at some points, and find them like tournaments to play in.
Oh God.
Destroyed me. I was stressed all of the time. And I wound up not getting anything done just because it was so much. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just didn't want to play the game anymore because like I felt guilty because the others, they were starting to complain like, "Hey, why aren't we doing anything?" I'm like, about that. And so like after like months of inactivity, suddenly the Retro versus Modern Splatfest comes up. And I actually go to a server, a general server for like Stingray members and like other people. Who remembers that?
Wait, what server? Oh, is it stuff? I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the stuff server.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That day was also the day where my nickname Jerry came from.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wait,
Jerry.
really? Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, that's right.
Ash, it was
I
your
think I was
fault.
an act. I think I
Yeah.
was. What do you mean it was
remember-
my fault? What did I
'Cause you
do?
called her Najiri. So
Yeah.
we started calling her Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I
remember-
wasn't really that active at that time. Sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
admit,
okay.
I thought it was Najiri for a long time too.
Jerry?
I say Nigiri. No.
A long time. I mean,
Nigiri.
Yes.
up until I heard someone say it earlier today.
You only found out until earlier
I called her Nigiri just because I don't know.
And when
It's Nigiri.
no
Okay.
thing. I'm so tired.
I think I got everyone's name wrong at some point during my
I hope
life
you
in
didn't get mine wrong. That'd be sad.
What's up, booty?
Oh yeah. Anyways.
Anyways.
Rory, I just cannot pronounce on command. Nigiri.
Jerry.
Okay, anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah. And so, my team is completely offline. I'm feeling extremely terrible because I have no one to play with, and my
Aww.
team's falling apart. And so, like, then Buddy and Ash hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play with us? We need like one more person." I'm like,
Do you want to play with us? We need one more person.
Isn't
Okay.
that the Splatfest?
"Yes."
I think so. Yeah.
I did say the Retro versus Modern Splatfest.
Ah, yeah.
Were we all on team? No, I was on team modern though,
Yeah,
wasn't
we
I?
were modern.
Oh,
Yeah,
we all were.
Yeah. First, I'm like, "Yes, please accept me."
Wait.
And then I start playing with them. I'm like, this is very not stressful at all. And,
Good.
like, I'm having lots of fun with these people. And then I realize I'm just not cut out for incantation anymore. I just needed something else. That's kind of why I haven't made a new team yet. Just because
To be
I remember
honest,
incantation.
I never thought of Stingray as like a super competitive thing. It was more of just
no,
like a
we-
fun.
Yeah, no.
No, we were never really competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive.
I guess I just needed a break after like all of the utter stress from incantation. And then I was like, I'm done. I'm fed up with it.
I remember I was in the call with you when you wrote your goodbye paragraph.
Yeah.
And you were really
I-
nervous.
Yeah, I was. Because like I didn't want it to fall apart because of me, and then guess what happened? It fell apart because of me.
Everyone joined Stingray.
Yep.
Spoilers.
I made a goodbye message. And then not Jackson, but Cthulhu and Jackson were like, I'm going to leave too. And then at that point, the panic was setting in, like, oh god, what have I done? It leaves too. And then, well, that's how I joined Stingray. But I do have to add, we kept bumping
Yes.
into each other, like, constantly, me and Buddy.
Like,
Like,
I'm really surprised at how that happened. Like, it's almost like it was really meant to be. Like, we're all meant to be together at one point in our lives.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, and like, with me and Buddy, like, he wanted to join my team. Then
Before
we
Stingray
both
even
joined,
existed.
yeah. And then we both joined the same server, so the same tournament.
Yeah.
That Ash was
And
also
then-
from, apparently.
No, if
Yeah.
I never went on that cruise and met my friends, if I never because me and my mom were having this conversation during the cruise, my mom's like, you should go over to those kids clubs and hang out with the teenagers. I'm like, I don't want to, Mom. And one time I went over there and I was addicted to that place ever since. And then my friends were like, hey, join. They have cool tournaments. You should wear. I'm like, okay, cool. So if I never went over to those team clubs, I never. Thanks, Mom. I love you. Okay. Anyways.
Oh yeah, and then that there was one like night that was the breaking point for me and Buddy's friendship, and that's why I randomly sent him
In a good way,
a
not
Twitter
a bad
post.
way.
Yeah, that was when I at like really late at night
It
I
was like
sent him a
midnight or
Twitter
1
post.
o'clock.
I sent him a Twitter post of cats. That's all it took, and then we
talked
just
for like hours after that.
yeah, we did, and like we talked about like Kirby and DDD both sucking Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
What the frick?
Yeah, it was a weird night.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the first. Okay.
Oh, and we had a
gonna
gif
tell
of him with the giant butt from that one episode where he gets like an alien.
Oh my
inside him or
gosh.
something. Anyway.
Here it is.
Okay.
I just looked up Carl in our DMs, and it was
It's the only time we said it, isn't it? Yeah, Rory, do you have any stories or something? Anything?
I joined and was
What were your first impressions about us?
Yeah,
my
yeah,
first
I wanna
impressions
know
of the
that.
server, so I joined, and this was, and the first thing I saw on the server was just like Buddy sending a weird source film, a weird source filmmaker thing of like two inklings taking a selfie. Here, I'll
What?
send you. I can send you the link. Copy image address. There we go.
I'm just posting screenshots from that one me and Buddy had.
The first thing I saw was this.
The first thing you saw was me and Ash's squid and
Yeah.
inkling taking a selfie.
Wait,
And,
what was it? Wait, hold on. I
You
gotta
posted
see
it in
this.
the clubhouse.
Oh, the clubhouse? Okay, bless. Oh, yeah! I remember that photo. That was really cool.
Masha talking about how he something about how he had a 99 grade, but that was still bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You
Wait,
came
I
at a
just
weird time.
realized.
Wait,
I-
Luke was here?
Huh?
Guys,
I forgot. I didn't know Luke was in the server before I was.
Oh, was he? He's gotten
Oh.
like
He was.
kicked and banned lots. So I
Wait,
mean,
Luke Deluxe. Luke Woso, or whatever the heck his name was at the time. Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy I met on the
I
cruise.
see Ash send the Asian Grand Memer test coffee pasta.
Oh,
Which-
hold on,
which
let me
I-
go freaking.
which I-
That was
which
what I made. I made that.
yeah, it was
Fully under-
like she took a coffee
Hold on.
pasta and then changed it
Yeah,
to that.
Which
Let me
which I
say it out
still don't
loud right
fully
here. Can I say
understand,
it? Can I say it?
If you want to.
Yes. Okay. The Asian Grand Memer test is a multi-stage cookie capacity test that progressively gets more easy as it continues. The over 9,000 meter pacer test. The over 9,000 meter pacer test will begin at 100 seconds. Line up at the end. The speed starts faster, but gets slower each hour after you hear the signal. Asian glue cookies. A double
Why?
left completed each time you hear the sound. Get out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft. Remember this exact line. Run as slow as possible. The 900th time you failed to complete a lap before the sound. Your test is beginning. The test will begin on the word meme. On your cat. Get tank. Okay.
Actually,
I used to say meme.
I think everyone did at one point.
And then my friend was like, "You're saying it wrong." I'm like, "I know. Don't judge me. I'm sorry for being weird." Okay.
That reminded me of one time at school during track and field day. We were doing the 50-meter dash, and I started to run, and my shoe fell off in the middle of it. And then the
Wait a
teacher,
second, Buddy's in track.
well, this was when it was mandatory before you could sign up for it.
Oh.
They just had like a specific. This was like 4th or 5th grade. They had like a day, track and field day, and you just had to do it.
Wait, Buddy does sports?
No. Only when I'm forced to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so I lost my shoe, and I was gonna go back for it, and the teacher was like, "Just keep running," and so I kept running with one shoe on my foot, and and I lost.
I'm gonna tell you guys my first impressions about everyone when you guys specifically, on when I first joined the server. So, Buddy, I thought was like the cool kid in the town, the like the Buddy, the one who
You're not
freaking
wrong.
dictator, be super serious. So I'm like, when I first tried, I'm like, hi.
Yeah, you were
Okay.
very quiet and shy.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be like embarrassing or whatever, and I felt like we had to be serious all the time. Nigiri, yeah, wait, I said that right. Yes, okay. Nigiri, I thought she's cool. Incantation, yes, love her. Okay, no
She's the
homo.
only good player. Just kidding.
And then Rory, I thought he was like this athletic kid, and like, so I'm like, okay, he's pretty cool. So
If we're talking my first experiences with everyone like here, for Buddy,
yes,
like I initially saw him as like this kind of, awkward, shy, but like determined guy. And that's pretty much what he is. So
yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty much in a nutshell.
and
What about me?
after I started like talking to him a little bit, I realized he was Mimi just like I was. And for you, Ash,
Yes.
when I like first started talking to you, I was like, okay, I like this girl. She's spunky.
Funky.
You see, everyone in school would say I'm not spunky at all. They would think I was the opposite. I was just a shy little child hanging in the corner.
Me too. Unless I'm here on Discord.
Yeah.
I liked you, Ash, because like you had a
Uh-oh.
nice kind of spunk, and like you were pretty good at Charger too. Rory,
Yay! Aw.
I pretty much just saw him and went, yeah, he's a good guy, but man, he memes a lot.
Wow.
So basically, your first impressions of us were exactly who we are. You're
Yeah.
just really good at reading people.
Does anyone want to talk about other Splatoon experiences now?
Well, one time I wrote Woomy on the map and everyone went insane.
Understandable.
Cool,
I don't.
great story.
I don't really have, besides Stingray and playing with you guys, I don't have many Splatoon.
Buddy, please. Okay, good.
Oh,
I don't have many Splatoon experiences because I
Sometime,
started
do you
playing a
remember
lot
that
once I started playing with you guys, so you already know all of my experiences. Most of them are on the
Remember-
YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
remember that one time when hockey mask and flippers and like I can't talk today, sorry. We all dressed up in the hockey mask and flippers and played an online match and just ran
during
without shooting.
Splatfest?
yeah.
No, we didn't even shoot and
Oh, I
just
wasn't
partied in the
there.
middle. It was so good.
I have a really nice Splatoon experience from the first game. My very first squid party. At that point, I didn't know what a squid party was. I just see these guys just like messing around, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't kill them. And then squid party happened. And I'm like, hey, these people. And then that was my first time
Alive.
going on Miiverse.
Ooh.
Weavers was the best.
It was the best. I agree. It was very.
There were so many people that would just post so many memes,
I
but then
had
the mod
100
would
followers.
just remove them.
That was the only way I was able to get people to play my Mario Maker courses. Once they
I've had a
shut down,
lot of
nobody
friends
played
back on
them.
the Wii. About talk to them, and sadly,
I think I only had 2 friends, and it was, no, I had like 1.
Aww. I had
Yeah,
Minecraft.
I only had 1 friend on the Wii U because I never really played it with anyone.
I do have 1 or 2 stories,
Go
maybe
on.
3 actually. I have been in this community for a really long time.
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Okay, yeah, 4. I have 4 stories.
Go on.
Okay, so which story to begin with?
The good one.
The best one. No, don't start with the best. Then you'll.
No,
have a
the
bad
worst
mood.
one.
Yeah, start with the
The
worst
worst
story.
one. The worst story. There was this streamer on Twitch that I used to watch. His name was Eternal Shinobi. I'm not sure if he still does weekly Splatoon tournaments, but he used to. And I used to compete in them. You know, the teams would be randomized and stuff like that. And so, like, I so I was a part of like his server, right?
Yeah.
And like, I believe this was what was the one Splatfest with like the big dome? Like
I don't think I played that at that point.
I know which one you're talking about. Was it?
Was it Money versus Love?
No. It was like egg versus.
Chicken versus egg.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
thank
Chicken,
you.
yeah,
That's
it's
right.
that one. How do I remember that?
Thank you.
Yeah, no props.
It was like the day of the Chicken versus Egg Splatfest. I was on team. I don't remember which team I was on, and I can't look because I have no phone, and I don't splatnets on phones.
Yeah. Anyways.
And so on that server, this was like the first, maybe it was like the third time I had ever PC'd, and so we did karaoke that night,
Oh boy.
and there was
Quick
like
karaoke is always the
6
worst because there's always so much lag. And you always come out like 3 seconds behind.
It was beautiful. There was like 7 people there,
Oh god.
and like
that sounds like
Oh.
a nightmare.
and
Yeah.
like, Eternal Shinobi did this amazing take on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with all her lyrics. It was hilarious, but I can't remember what they were. And he was sick as hell too. And so like even I participated with my shy ass. Because like at the time I was nervous as hell. Because it was like the third time I was ever on BC. And that's the worst story I have. We just did karaoke.
That's a good story though, because karaoke's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it too. I think
And
the
then-
only thing I sang in front of people was actually Rory.
I've never
Actually.
sang in front of anyone.
I've definitely done karaoke multiple times with my friends in chat room 737. You've come a
That's
few
right.
times, right, buddy?
Huh?
You've come a few times, right, buddy, when we do karaoke in chat room 737?
I think I have, I just haven't sang.
They do karaoke in that server?
Wait, what
Sometimes we do,
server?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the next story. This is me trying to decide which one to tell.
The second worst.
Second.
Yeah. Second
Okay.
worst. Do it.
So this one is like second worst and is like not like it's a bad story, but it was just negative. So this was back in Splatoon 1, and the only thing I had to use to communicate was Miiverse. I started up a bumper brush lobby, and like I added a bunch of people, and I had specific rules because like bumper brushes has rules, so I put those rules like in the post. And like there was a lot of people there that night. It was great. But then this like one person kept ignoring the rules, and I like closed the room, and I was like I messed with them because like I can't keep open the room and use Miiverse, and I'm like, hey, you're kind of breaking the rules. So if you keep doing that, I'm gonna have to like ban you from my room and unfriend you. They're like, oh, okay, we won't do it again. So it was like 2 people who were friends, and then they continued doing it. And so I did exactly as I said I would. And then you know what I saw? Like the next day, I saw a Miiverse post that was like a warning. I'm like, and I see it's from the same user that was breaking the rules that night. I'm like, oh, what is this? And
Remember-
they made a
Oh, sorry, I'll wait.
post warning people about me, saying I was unfairly kicking people and to avoid me.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, and that user gave me trouble one last time. Cause like there was another recruitment post for a team. It was like, oh hey, I kinda wanna join. And they're like, oh okay, cool. And then that person comes in like, no, don't accept her. She kicked me. unfairly. She's a bad person. And I'm like, bitch, shut your fucking ass up.
Wonder how that person's doing now.
Ooh.
We should get them in on the podcast.
No.
We can invite them and be like, hey, do you remember when this happened? And they probably won't, and then it'll be really awkward.
So we've mentioned the server tournament like a few times.
Yeah. Good
But
time.
like our team, Incantation won. We had beat both teams of Stingray, and like everyone else, and
What's your team A?
so like we were supposed to get $20 for winning.
Oh, yeah.
However,
I remember this.
we were and we were only supposed to have to wait like a week or two, but a week or two turned into a month. And then we had to pretend like we did get the money, just so the person who was supposed to give the person the money so he could pay us the money would give him the money. And that person was and so we still had to wait for a while after that. Another 2 months go by, and at this point it's October. He finally gives us the codes. Maybe it was 3 or 4 months. I don't know. He finally gets the codes to us, and 2 of them don't even work for our members. He constantly apologizes, but at that point I'm just sick of it. Because he had messaged me like 7 times about this whole thing. Pikachu was he's in the UK. And Brandon is in Canada, so the codes didn't work for them. They both gave me their codes actually, so I got like $15. So, and then the guy has the audacity to advertise a new tournament and beg us to come back to the server. In which I did, and then I left without doing anything. I was tired as all hell, especially because I needed that money, in a way, to get Nintendo Online. So I was, like, tired. We're working on, like, 2 commissions at once. So he finally got to us, and then he advertised a Smash tournament with a prize. And at that point, I just never want to see him again. So yeah, that's the story of the server.
The great experience that I was planning for a while to add like a Smash team to Stingray.
And when he told me, I was actually highly upset.
I figured you would be upset.
Yeah, because like at that point when he had told me, everyone in the team had stopped playing Splatoon to play Smash, except for me.
Smash killed Stingray.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna add Smash so people would be active again, but at that point I was just not really up to like doing anything team related anymore at that point, so yeah.
Yeah.
It never happened. Oh, Ash's Wi-Fi died. Or something.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, I mean, I've run out of things to talk about.
I'm probably gonna go talk to Rory in a VC.
Subscribe to PewDiePie. Only you can defeat T-Series. Only you can stop VLux scams.
Nobody can stop India. It's impossible. Except Elon Musk.
Yes, you can.
Thanks
subscribe.
for watching the Stingray podcast. I'm at.
Make sure you follow me on Insta. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Crazy the8th and Twitter and YouTube Crazy8. Don't follow Buddy, because he makes Minecraft videos.
I only have a Twitter because I'm not active on Instagram, only on my personnel, which you guys don't know, obviously.
Roy plays Roblox.
Follow me at.
I only play Roblox ironically, okay? I'm not serious about it.
I do art and furry stuff.
Yeah, follow her.
Yes.
She's the only one with like a decently normal social media.
What about me?
Well, you're not giving this away.
No. I'm giving my Twitter, but I can't.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
loading.
If you need
My Twitter.
video
go
editing, hit me
follow
up.
my Twitter at ZeroLashy, which
This
is
is
Z
an awful podcast.
This
I'm
is the
out. Peace.
longest outro we've ever.
R
Oh, bye,
Z.
Lily.
Just go follow Crazy
I'll just put a
DA.
screenshot. I'll
Follow
put
him.
a screenshot and everyone's links in the description so you can go follow them.
Okay.
Yes.
Just make this the outro. Make this whole ending part the outro.
Can I do the final ending bit?
Yes.
Go follow Crazy D8.
Yes.
Thank you for watching the Stingray podcast and have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What if they're watching at night?
Bye, guys.
Miranda is the only one that's
Have a
mentally
great
sane.
evening. Have a great night. Have a great morning. Have a great any
What
time
if
of
they're
the day.
having a terrible day?
Well,
We're having a
Same.
terrible day. It's okay. We'll make it better for you. We love you all. Okay. See ya, guys.
make sure you smash that like
We're
button.
still doing this.
I
Go
Are we gonna-
smash it.
Oh
Tear.
my god, Tear.
Big Yoshi. Very big Yoshi.
Tear, do
Big
the
Yoshi.
outro. Tear, do
Big
the outro.
Yoshi.
Tear, do the
Big
outro.
Yoshi.
This is our outro.
Big Yoshi.
No. This is our blueprint.
Big
at the very
Yoshi.
end. This is the blueprint.
Big Yoshi.
I'm recording now.
Big
Bye.
Yoshi.